Residents of St. Anne are again being called upon to seek the relevant assistance from individuals, including pastors, member of parliaments and the police, to find amicable solutions to resolve their conflicts. The call was made by several officials, chief among them being Member of Parliament for St. Anne Southwest, Xavier Main, who gathered at the Linton Park New Testament Church in the parish on Saturday for the funeral service of a mother and son who were killed in a vicious machete attack near their home on Tuesday, August 28. St. Anne Southwest MP, Xavier Main, in a service steeped heavily in mourning for the life of 33-year-old Alisha Francis and her son, 11-year-old Jamoni Jackson, more popularly called Tico. Several residents still struggled to come to terms with the reality that the parent and her child were mercilessly chopped to death. Francis and her 3 children, who resided in Linton Park, were attacked as they returned from a shop in the area by Orville Scarlett, alias Bull, 5 days after the gruesome double killing at the hands of Scarlett, with whom Francis had ended a relationship a year before. He was hacked to death by an angry mob which comprised residents of the community. It was widely speculated that the savagery that was carried out by Scarlett, who is yet to be buried, had resulted from anger after Francis allegedly stole money from his bank account. Despite his ex-lover having served time in prison for the act, Scarlett's anger apparently remained, and he started issuing threats against Francis' life once she returned to the area after serving her sentence. On Tuesday night, August 28, he took his revenge after a cab ride to Linton Park, where he chopped the woman he once loved and killed one of her children. 2 of the woman's children, a 12-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl, survived Scarlett's attack. The boy, unlike his sister who escaped unharmed, received several chop wounds, resulting in the loss of his fingers on one hand and a scar to his face, which will forever be reminders of the gruesome attack he experienced. The funeral service for his mother and younger brother was too much for the youngster, as the sight of the 2 caskets being rolled into the church resurrected too much pain for the child who is still being treated at the Bustamante Hospital for Children in St. Andrew. Tears streamed down his face and he was later taken away from the ceremony. In describing the burial of the mother and son as a very sad day for Jamaica and particularly for Linton Park, Main urged those gathered to speak to others about their issues, ranging from family conflicts to relationship issues. Sometimes we are having challenges, we have relationship challenges, you have problems with your brother or your sister or any of your parents, you're having problems with your lover, you're having problems with your neighbor. Listen. Somebody is always there to help you. The pastor has volunteered himself. As the Member of Parliament, I am here too. The police are there, Main advised. He further urged, never you be afraid to go and talk to somebody, because all you want is a listening ear, a word of encouragement, a word of advice. So whatever the problem you are going through, it can be resolved through a simple conversation. So do not be afraid to have a discussion, Main, who is also State Minister in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, argued that citizens cannot expect the government to solve crime when mankind is so wicked. With clear reference to Scarlett's vicious acts that resulted in the deaths of a parent and a child. And you hear people complain about government or politicians not doing enough to solve crime. But I say to you, you can't expect the politician or the government to solve crime when the heart of mankind is so cruel and vile. You can't expect the government to solve crime when mankind is so wicked, because only a wicked person who would have brought himself to the point where you inflict fatal wounds not onto one person, but on 2 persons, and if you had your way, you would have done more, he stated. In reflecting on the memory of Francis, Main said she had come to his office to seek help and 3 weeks after her murder, a check came for her. And I tell you I felt it. Clearly it was saying to me that though she was poor, she was somebody who was determined to make a better way for herself and her children, even if it means turning up at the office of the Member of Parliament to seek the support, Main disclosed. The practicing attorney at law urged members of the community, especially women, to not use poverty as an excuse to remain in risky circumstances. But I say to you as a community and as a constituency, we have to move on and we have to learn from this experience. Let us not find ourselves in situations when very early in the day, we would have seen the signs that situations are unhealthy, or you are at risk of being abused. And I say to you, particularly women, poverty is no excuse for you to find or remain in certain circumstances even when they put you at risk, he declared. Main said he will be playing his role to ensure that Francis' 2 remaining children can attain a very good education up to the secondary level. He closed his greetings at the funeral service by leaving an endearing message with the children's grandmother, Yvonne Redman. And I say to you, grandmother, Do not be afraid to come and sit and talk to me, and if it look like me not talk to ya, remind me say me did come a church and say dad. Because the only way we are going to help these children is to ensure that they strive out of poverty. And education is the best way, is the only way to ensure that what has happened to their mother will never happen to them. So may their mother and brothers' souls rest in peace, Maine concluded. Following the funeral service that went on for more than 3 hours, Francis and her son were laid to rest at the family plot in Linton Park. Meanwhile, there has been no word on funeral arrangements for their killer. For breaking news,